promoting me by any means. But that's certainly a message you need to take note of. Where did we go wrong? The Lord prompted in my spirit, based on what we saw in the life of David. The Lord said, whosoever offer praise glorify me. What David did was monumental, and yet you see some people had an opinion about it that wasn't so popular. If you're going to be a person of truth in this generation, you're going to be the minority. Majority don't like truth, don't want truth, don't want to turn. But I do believe the Bible speaks very loud and clear as to where we are, where we're going. So I want you to stand with me. Where did we go wrong? Part 2. Lost respect. Where did we go wrong? Somebody said we lost respect. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 5. And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. Wow. Father, I thank you for your word, and I pray for the next few moments you would grant me clarity of speech, soundness of mind to articulate truth. Let us leave from here informed. We might respond in a way that honors you. We need you. It is desperate. It's critical. Father, I pray that you would make up the difference in our life. Bless your people with ears to hear and a heart to receive, a mind to react. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. God bless you. What a probing question. Where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? This is beneficial if you ever intend on getting it right. Amen? You got to figure out where things got fouled up at and go back and fix it. You can't identify it with just the idea I'm going to identify it. You got to go back and fix it. Isaiah is one of those books that are so comprehensive. It's one of those books in the Bible you read and yet it probes you to think beyond what you read. As we look at this verse, the people shall be oppressed. It's a strong word, oppress. The word oppress really lends itself to the ideology that the people will be so pressured. And we live in a world now where pressure is knocking on our hearts. The Bible says that the last days would produce a certain kind of time anyway. The pressure people are under now, they're saying in America, more Americans are stressed out. Health, wealth, money. Somebody should have said amen. Somebody coughed. Money. That's an issue, isn't it? Yep. Health. That's an issue, isn't it? Yes. And family. These areas are stressing people out to the point they're doing things. Some of it positive, some of it not too positive.
Come on, bro.
He said, the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. And the child, his behavior is going to be proud against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. He's saying here that we're going to have so much pressure from one another and from the neighbor, and then on top of that, you're going to have children disrespecting their elders. And then on top of that, base people who have such a base view of life, are going to be against and stand against those who are honorable. Isaiah said a whole lot in one verse there. And that's only one verse of a whole chapter. And this prophet, as intense as he is, he's speaking, but you got to remember, as what is being said here is not his words. God is speaking through him. For all scripture is given by inspiration of God, and it is profitable. He can't deviate. God is pouring out his judgment, and Isaiah must help the people see what is necessary in order to reverse the coming calamity that has already unfolded. In Isaiah 58:1, it was declared that he must cry loud, spare not, lift up his voice, like a trumpet in Zion. That word spare not really literally lends itself to the thought you cannot afford not to. You cannot miss what you've been called to do. Cry loud, spare not. Lift up your voice like a trumpet. Trumpet is a very resounding, loud instrument. This is the way you need to help people see where they are. Show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sin. What a verse. If we neglect in our day to rightly display where we are and how to get where we need to go, most assuredly, hear me, we will continue to go in the direction we're going. You got to admit, it's getting worse every day.
Come on, bro.
And there's many that are content with where we're going. Because now, we must show love to everybody. We accept everything. Anything goes now. It's something now. Many are so content with the direction we are going that any change that interfere with that direction excites a riot. We've now reawakened, and when I say we, I don't say we as individuals, but as a whole, we reawakened what really was put away. And now we're making everything a race issue, a gender issue. But really, we've omitted to admit the Bible issue. While we're coming up with all these other issues, the Bible speaks to the issue. While many are content and don't want change, they find with the decline the nation is going in. And it's at the expense of morals, folks. Morality is at an all-time low now. People don't have morals anymore. It was during an important time in the ministry of Isaiah when the nation was experiencing a time of great struggle, politically and spiritually. The northern kingdom, if you're a history biblicist, the northern kingdom of Israel was deteriorating. They were deteriorating politically, spiritually, and militarily. Now, when you get that weak, you're open prey to the enemy. And sure enough, the land of Assyria conquered them. In the year 722 BC. The southern kingdom, which was Judah, by the other hand, even though it looked weak, they looked right to collapse. But they were able somehow to hang on and withstand the attack of the Syrians and still keep their identity. But yet, it was critical. And it was during these times of such a political struggle, spiritual decline, that Isaiah rose with a message for the message. He was not alone. People like Hosea and Micah were contemporaries with him, and many of their messages paralleled as we did our study through the minor prophets. Isaiah, on the other hand, comes out clearly and says, look, the people are going to be oppressed, everyone by another, everyone by his neighbor. The child is going to behave proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. This is our text, and as we look at our text, we ask the question, where did we go wrong and end up like this? And why such a calamity is allowed to unfold right before our eyes? God is clear why the people must face truth. Isaiah brings light to a dark situation. And he lets them know they brought it on themselves. You ever got in trouble you know you got yourself in? Come on, be honest with me. Come on, everybody in here at some point in their life have done something that brought on trouble to you, and you did it yourself. Even though you wanted to get mad at somebody else, there was nobody else to blame. This is what he told Isaiah concerning Israel. In Isaiah 3:8, he said, for Jerusalem is ruined. Look at this. He said they're ruined. They're ruined and Judah is fallen. What do you do when you're ruined? And you done fell from where you were? You certainly are not in the place you used to be. He said their doings are against the Lord. Now, to the world, everything looks lovely. But to God, it looks either right or wrong. The world says if it's right in your eyes, you can do it. If you want to do it, do it. If you want to have it, you can have it. He said they are ruined, and because their tongue and their doings are against the Lord to provoke the eyes of his glory. What a statement. He said not only are they ruined and fallen, but here's the reason. Their tongue, what they're saying and giving verbiage to, and what they're doing is against the Lord. Now, folks, that old saying is true. You can't win. Your arms are too short. He'll duke you out every time. And verse 9 even takes it to another level. The show of their countenance do witness against them. He said you can even see that they're not the same. You can even see it's nothing like it used to be. It's a witness against them. And they declare their sin as Sodom and hide it not. And look at the woe. Woe to what? Their soul. Now we know the Bible said, what would it profit a man if he gained the whole world and lose his soul? So there is a big gain on one end, but there's a bigger loss on the other. And even though our emphasis in America is nowhere near on the soul, if you look good, do it. If you feel good, you can have it. And the show of our countenance show that as a nation, we have went so wrong with God. We have went so wrong that I wonder, are we at the point of no return? It's scary to think of where we've gone. Somebody say, what went wrong? The show of their countenance even show we don't even look like what we used to as a nation. We don't look like what we used to look like as a leaders in the world. He said they look just like they are ruined, falling. The show of their countenance witness against them. And we're proud about it. We're proud about it. We got our bumper stickers and our banners, and we're waving them so proudly. Folks, this is a clear-cut picture of Isaiah's day, and guess what? It fit us. It fits. It fits us so bad. I'll never forget. It seemed comical. But the whole O.J. Simpson case came down to his hand in the glove. Remember that famous picture? The glove don't fit. You gotta quit. Ain't that what he said? Slick Johnny Cochran, the lawyer. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. And he, through his clever talk, talked a murderer out of murder. Just on that statement. The present condition represents the future consequences. Folks, our condition today represents the consequences we'll face tomorrow if we don't look at where we went wrong and change it. Did you hear what I said? Our condition right now opens the door for the consequences that is to come tomorrow. Because the Bible did say the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal. Come on. And if you don't receive God and his gift, we are going to fall to the judgment that is sure to come. Because we're going to reap what we sow. Yeah. We're not going to all escape being a part of the church. He said here, they hide it not. And I want you to tell them, woe to their soul. Because while they're enjoying the lap of luxury and this worldliness and this sinfulness that is totally against me, their doings is against me, what they're saying is against me, you know it's not right for you to worship no other God. Thou shalt have no other gods before you. You know it's not right for two men to come together and talk about you going to give them a license. I saw on my TV the other day, minding my own business, watching a decent movie. Two women, they got mad and want to sue because both of them were pregnant having a baby, and a woman refused to treat them because they were married, talking about they having a family, and now they want to sue her.
Come on.
And they're saying that's discrimination.
Yeah.
That's showing what the Bible said about that.
Yeah.
The Bible said it's abomination. And folks, we will reap. We will reap what we have sown. The present condition opens the door for the future consequences. What are the consequences? Isaiah 3:1. He said, behold, the Lord of hosts doth take away from Jerusalem. Watch this carefully. The stay of the staff, the whole stay of bread, the whole stay of water, the mighty man, the man of war, the judge, the prophet, and the prudent, and the ancient, the captain of 50, and the honorable man, and the counselor, and the cunning artificer, and the eloquent orator. Somebody said big loss.
Big loss.
Come on, say it. Big loss.
Big loss.
That's a big loss. I'm not going to take my time to go through every one of them, but let me point out a few. He said, I'm going to take away the stay and the staff. That which stabilized you and kept you calm. Listen, folks, I'm talking to people who are in business, who are saying right now, we're heading toward an economic collapse. The banks got crazy and was loaning money away. I think they done got more crazy now. How can all these folks afford these mortgages and all these homes? Man, when it collapsed this time, it's coming down hard.
Yeah, come on, brother.
You mark my word, your kids might have to move back in with you. You might have to learn how to get along with people and share a loaf of bread. And the times might get so, and I believe God will ordain it to be so, that people one more time will turn toward God. He said the Lord is going to take away. And when God get ready to take these things from us, these are the very things that help stabilize us and help us to be the kind of nation that we have become here in America. And it was true of them in Israel. He gave them that stay of staff, the whole stay of bread, the whole stay of water. Do you not know in California where the reason why the fires were so rampant? Because they had no water. They had no water. They were ripe for fire. And nobody seems to think that this has any kind of spiritual connection. By the time the water comes, it has come so much and in so much abundance, it's not profitable. And yet California leads the way for some of the most immoral acts and idolatrous ways you could ever have. California leads the way. But nobody dare think that California could be under the judgment of God. Nobody dare think America could be under the judgment of God. And I just showed you. He said your doings and your tongue is against me. How do you think God is going to let you work against him and he not do something? How long do you think he's going to let you violate what you possess in his word? And you act like it don't exist no more. We printed it on our money, and God we trust. We don't trust him now. We said and declared that we one nation under God. He said, I'm going to take away the mighty man. When you don't have people of might, you don't have men of war who know how to go out and fight. Then he said, I'm going to take the prophet from you. This is dangerous because now you don't have anybody spiritually that can connect you with God and bring you back to God. And folks, we live in a day and age now of the fallen prophet. We got so many, but yet they're so out of touch. Dogs that can't bark, the Bible calls them. Prophets that can't see. What do you need to see? Well, what isn't there not to see? We need to see exactly where we are so that we can fix this. We need to see the condition of our children. We need to see the conditions of our homes. We need to see the wreckage that we have wrecked our lives with. He said, I'm going to take away the man of war, the prophet, the prudent, the ancient. If you look carefully at the lost, and you can clearly see this today, it's hard to find a true prophet these days. I'm not talking about these guys going around with these gimmicks. I'm talking about somebody with a word from God in the face of God. Because a real prophet ain't going to be flamboyant. He's going to be reluctant to even say some of the things God tells him to say sometimes. Some of this stuff ain't nothing but a bunch of hocus pocus. But a real prophet, hard to find these days. Hard to find real word. Not many people even know what a real word even is now. They don't even know what a real probing message is now. This is why we got so many people in here. This is exactly why. Not many people even know the difference. They're swinging the chandeliers, jumping the hoops, flipping over the chairs, running up and down, and don't even know they're in the rocking chair being rocked to sleep. The Bible told us to wake up out of our sleep. Somebody say amen. Amen. Look at what we've lost. We've lost in our day these critical, important people. Every one of those categories are important. Tell me it would not be a dilemma. You go to Walmart and there's nothing on the shelf. We dare not even think that could even happen in America. But folks, get ready. We dare not even think God will allow us to reach that point to where we don't have water. We live in a generation of spoiled brats. God's going to unspoil them. Just hold on. It's coming. Come on, brother. I believe it with all my heart, and I can see the signs of the time. Ignore me, call me a heretic, don't come back, but I'm telling you, you're going to remember this message and remember this minister and say, he said it. We're going to see some times unfold that's going to really shake the fiber of this nation. Look carefully at what we have lost in our day, and we can clearly see our dilemma. How are we to survive without these key people? Look at Deuteronomy 32 and 7. I had this verse last week, and I just love this verse. Moses said, look, remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask your father. He will show you. Now, we just saw where the Lord said, I'm going to take these people away as a judgment. I'm going to take them away from you. If these are the people that are to show us what way we are to go, he said, they'll show you. They won't leave you to try to figure it out on your own. And I'm poised at people that want to try to figure it out on their own. He said they'll tell you which way to go. Not only that, in the days of old, the Bible said, children of Issachar, that wonderful tribe, that powerful group of people, children of Issachar were men that had understanding. Now, when you are sitting around people that understand exactly where we are and what we're doing, they can help you understand what you need to do in order to remain right and get right with God. And we're living a day now, we certainly need somebody to help us get it right. The Bible said these were men that had understanding of the times. Folks, we need somebody that understands the times we live in today. Because we live in some crazy times. We live in some jacked up times. Never thought it would be like this, but guess what? The Bible said it. Folks, it's unfolding. It is unfolding rapidly. He said all their brethren were at their commandment. Why? These were the men that had understanding. These were the people that understood where we were and what we need to do. Because we're having to now explain the unthinkable. The unthinkable. We're having to explain why mothers are acting like they're not a mother. Fathers are acting like they're not a father. We got to explain why the home is in a wreck. We got to explain now what's going on. We need men of understanding. We need somebody that will help open up the scripture scripture and say, look, y'all, I know it's bad, it's like this, but the Bible said when the enemy will come in like a flood, the Lord will lift up a standard against him. We need somebody that understands so that they can help explain why. I need somebody that can tell me why. It is what it is. I need somebody that can help me. I need somebody that knows so I can know how to pray for my children. I need somebody that knows we got grandchildren that's going to inherit this mess. We need somebody that understands. And I ain't got time for you if you're not trying to understand. If you don't understand my heart by now, you'll never know. Remember that old song, if you don't know me by now, you'll never know. If we no longer have these men of renown, if we don't have them, then what do you replace them with? What do you get if you don't have it? What do you replace it with? I tell you what, the Bible tells us. He said in verse 4 of Isaiah 3, he said, I'll give children.
Jesus.
Oh, I got some work here. I'll give you some children. I'll let children rise up for you. They'll be your kings and your princes. This speaks to immaturity. People who don't have a clue. Why would you want to put somebody that don't have a clue up on your roof to do your roof? You know it's going to leak. Why are you going to put somebody who don't know what they're doing up there to play in your electric box? He's going to die and cause you some problems. Why you want to put somebody that don't know what they're doing in a critical place? A place that needs somebody that understands. And when we get somebody that understands, we're so discombobulated because of their nature and their style, because it ain't what we used to. We fighting, and this is why you see the picture that is being drawn in America. They are fighting left and right because we don't understand. Maybe this is our season of opportunity, and maybe God has given us crazy in order to make sense out of what has gone out of sense in our world today. I do believe we're at a window of opportunity, and many people don't understand it. That's why we'd rather fight than come together. Well, I'm not going to get political here. But not only in age are we getting children, but in manners. As I look at this over the spiritual spectrum, I'm looking at young men, and not just young in the sense of age, but spiritually unprepared, immature, not ready, young men trying to be somebody's pastor. They don't understand. They got their degree off YouTube. They're so without credibility, they're incredible. They're incredible. And yet trying to pastor. The Lord said if the blind lead the blind, they're going to both. He said, I'll make boys be their princes. Folks, what happened in Isaiah's day was true because they had weak leadership, and it was fully accomplished in this weak leadership. Wicked princes, the death of Josiah to the destruction of the city and the temple, the taking of Zedekiah by Nebuchadnezzar, all of this proved to be that they had weak, immature leadership that could not stand the pressure. He said, I'll give children to be their princes. And then look at this. Babes will rule over them. So when you got these new up-and-coming wannabes in charge, and then babies ruling them, and now we see churches being formed in this. I'm only talking about the spiritual side now. I'm going to get into the political in a minute. But you got churches being formed where we got young, immature children leading, being the leader. And then you got babes, a bunch of millennials who don't know the difference between the holy and the profane. They think holiness is a tattoo. They think holiness is a an earring now, and they call themselves Joshua generation, when the Joshua generation never materialized until after Moses was gone. And until then, Joshua didn't get a word from God. He got a word from Moses. The Bible said God spoke to Moses, Moses spoke to Joshua. And when Moses was gone, Joshua was already trained and prepared to hear from God and not deviate into anything else. What we got now is Joshua spiritually is disconnecting from Moses and don't want to hear nothing he had to say, because they say that's old-fashioned. It's a new day now. We need to accept and praise everybody. We need to let the lesbians come in here because they need love. No, they need to come out of that mess and get right with God. They said we need to come and love everybody and let the homosexuals come. Yeah, they can come, but they can't be over my youth ministry. Yeah, they can come, but they got to sit and hear a word, and I got 4 eyes on them to make sure they don't touch our little sons here. I got God in me, and they can come. We can love them, we'll respect them, but thus saith the Lord, come out from among them and be separate and touch not the unclean thing, and I'll be your God.
Come on now.
I got no tolerance for sin.
Yeah. Preach. Come on.
They get mad because you're so upset that you have a position that is against them.
Wow.
So they have to become a new generation of millennials. And now we're wondering why these churches are booming and blossoming and they got more crowd than they ever got. Because they don't want to rock the boat of the sinner. When you have this, the first 3 verses of Isaiah, I'm going to take away all the noble, the mighty. These are the people that would call this stuff under check. These are the people that call their life in check. These are the people who wouldn't let this kind of nonsense go on. Now when you don't have it, you got children leaving. Anything go with them. Because they don't know the difference. And then the babes are ruling them. Oh, what a sadness. So what do you get? The people get oppressed then. No wonder we're oppressed. We're in trouble with God. No wonder the heat is coming on us. We're in trouble with God. No wonder we have to bear in this mess along with them, every one another. No wonder now things are so that the young child don't even respect his elder no more. You know how it started? It used to be God be in your morning, God be in your night. We reduced it to good night and good morning. Then we got even more lazy and just said morning, night. As we diminish away the very essence of what made us a people has been erased out. You know how it is. You get a pencil, you can take an eraser and erase out. Ink is permanent. You can't erase that. We're etching out the very thing we should have inked in and let it never be taken out. This is the result. People are oppressed. Everyone. The child is behaving against the ancient, the base, people with no kind of notoriety. The people that don't know want to know more than the people that know. I used to love that, man, when I was a foreman. I get these little rookies come out want to know more than me. So I right away, you know how you humble them? You give them something to do. Then when they can't do it, then you send them back over there to the shovel and say, this is what you do until you get ready. You humble them quick, you know. I'll never forget a guy came on my job. He knew more than me. I said, well, you go in there, all the wires are just hanging out the panel. I said, you wire that panel up for me and I'll come back and check it. He stood there for about 10 minutes and then realized he didn't have a clue. He said, I can't do it. I said, well, you go on over there and you keep quiet. And I'll come and help you learn how to do that over there. And if you stick with me, I'll help you get to that place where you can get over here. And you can do that. But until then, stay within your confines. I was nice about it, but I just wanted him to learn. And sometimes you got to help people learn that way. See, I can't come out there and tell Steve how to go up on a roof and put a metal roof down. What I need to do is go and watch and listen and then do whatever he says so I can learn. That way, I can walk away from that experience knowing how to do something. Amen. You don't walk on trying to know more than anybody, everybody else. The oppressed has come because we have a generation of children who know more than us. And they're not even 20. Ain't it amazing? I know ain't a word, but we birth children into the world and they so pretty and then they start talking.
Come on, bro.
And all of a sudden they get a revelation and they know more than you ever knew.
Wow.
It's amazing. You can't talk. They, but good Lord.
Yeah, preaching, bro. That's the truth.
Thank you.
Preaching.
Is the heat on the hill or the air? Okay. It might get a little hotter, but give me a minute. But it's amazing. They get that revelation. And you're sitting here looking at them because you know young folks think old folks are fools, and old folks know young folks are fools. Just the way you're talking. You're going to know more, you're going to be more, you're going to just do this, just do that. I was just like you.
Come on, bro. Come on now.
I knew more than my daddy.
Come on now.
Only to find out when I got older, I didn't know nothing. I had to go back and admit, hey man, hold up, time to talk. You was right. I had to get up in age now. I was in my 20s when that happened. Because at 15, he didn't know what he was talking about. Come on, how many of y'all been there before?
Amen.
I didn't, you know, I mean, at 15, he didn't know what he was talking about. At 17, you knew he didn't know what he was talking about.
Come on now.
And at 20, you had the world on your shoulders.
Come on.
Then all of a sudden, a revelation hit. No, it was reality kicked in.
Come on.
Paying your own bills kicked in. Paying your own insurance. Come on, somebody help me. Paying your own bills kicked in. All of a sudden, somebody said, "Wait, things got real." Yeah, said things got real. Yeah, it got real quick. And you realized it wasn't all you thought it was. And surviving means more than just talk. Somebody say amen. Clap your hands and give God praise. We got a generation that is behaving themselves proudly against the ancient. And what they don't realize is they're just being set up by the enemy, because the enemy don't want you to fulfill your destiny. Because in order for you to reach your destiny, you need your Moses. In order for you to fulfill your destiny, you need somebody that understands, that can guide you. In order for you to make it in life, you need somebody that can help guide you, that already been there, already done that. Somebody that know God and know that if you stay with God, you'll make it, and they help you.
Amen.
Somebody holler, help!
Thank you, Lord.
Ooh, man, I feel my help coming on. Ah! This is the ingredients, y'all. What you see in verse 5 is the ingredients
Amen.
that spells America.
Yeah.
Our young people have no respect. They don't hold a door open for nobody no more.
Yeah.
If you say something to them, they don't even say, sir.
Thank you.
What do you want?
Yeah.
You don't realize that man with gray hair has been somewhere you might not ever get to with that kind of attitude.
Yes.
It's amazing. We got so many young graves now. I was passing somebody the other day and they had a memorial plastered on the back of their glass now. You know they're doing that now. They get the picture of the person and they put their beginning and end on both sides. And I'm looking at them, you know, I'm quick with the math. I'm like, wow, he wasn't but 21. Wow, I don't know what the reason he died or whatever. But we got more young people dying. Why? Because they ain't no punk, you know. I'm dying, but I ain't no punk, you know. I got shot because I ain't no whip, you know. When a real punk is still living. Somebody say amen. Somebody that survived and know your talk means nothing. If I can live to see another day, you can say whatever you want, but I got a destiny fulfilled. And I wasn't birthed in the earth to die before my time. I was birthed for a purpose. The hand of the Lord is on me, and he's called me for a purpose, and it's not to... This is what I call the ingredients for revival.
Thank you, Lord God.
It is under this oppression that people cry. It's only in hard times Israel cried before the Lord. And when they cried, God heard their cry. This result I call the ingredients for revival is because the only thing that's going to last and sustain through the times is the true church.
Yeah. Amen.
This is the best time for you to be a Christian. You're going to be encouragement to some people. You're going to be a blessing to people, folks. This is the best time to be a believer right now. Ain't you glad you're a believer? Clap your hands and praise God. Ain't you glad you got the word of God? You're going to bring comfort to so many people that are oppressed. people who are ready to pull the trigger. I never forget when we first started Heart to Heart. The Lord moved on me to send an invitation to a lady, and I called her, and she wasn't in. I left a message, loved on her, and let her know God loved her, and I do too, and I wanted her to be saved and come to church. Little do I not know, my wife back then, she told my wife she had wrote the letter that night. She was going to kill herself and blow her brains out. She had already come to the end of her road, but God interrupted just in a word, y'all. God interrupted, and her own testimony was that I was ready to end it all because I was under so much pressure and I felt so down. And you don't know what the person sitting next to you is going through. You don't know what people are having to deal with. They come to church with suits on at lunchtime, but all hell is breaking loose. They're oppressed on every side. Paul said I was pressed without measure and without strength, and I had the license of death all over me. But thanks be to God that gives us the victory. Somebody say, yes, he does. He gives us the victory. He makes sure that death don't win. He makes sure that what the enemy meant for bad, he turns it around for the good. He makes sure that no weapon formed against you will be able to prosper. Clap your hands and praise him. He makes sure that you come out a winner. He makes sure that many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord, man, I feel like running in, but the Lord delivered out of them all.
Thank you, Lord God. Yes.
This is the ingredients for revival. This will end in a great time for the church. Times have proven that under great oppression, people realize where they've fallen from and they go back. You go through Bible history, those of you that are scholars, I didn't mean to get into this like this, but if you go through Bible history, you will find many of people went back to God after times got so tough, and they realized we have left God. They went back. Look at somebody, are you? Go back if you have to. It's a clear picture of our day, y'all. This is a clear picture of our day as we live in the most trying time. The Bible said in the last days, perilous times would come. Somebody say they're here. And let me tell you something. I'm calm down. I didn't even get this excited. You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. You wait till this next wave of leadership come in. You're going to see something. You're going to get just what you're looking for. We're going to see something. It's not. I already see it happening, folks, in the spirit. You ain't seen nothing yet. You think it's tough now. Oh, you're going to see something in this generation. You're going to see before you close your eyes. You're going to see it. You're going to remember what I said here. What's coming down the pipe ain't pretty. And they're already moving fast, setting their agenda. They got their plays in place, just like a well-coordinated coach. And they push the button and pull what they pull. You're going to see what's unleashed. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Jesus.
And I'm telling you, if we don't realize what went wrong and correct it, we're heading to what will be catastrophic for the church and for America. The handwriting is definitely on the wall. Well, look what Solomon said in Ecclesiastes 10:5. Can I preach a little?
Come on.
He said, this is an evil which I've seen under the sun, a horror which proceeds from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity. Who wants that? You ever notice this? He said folly is set in a place of dignity. Folly. We took folly and we replaced it for dignity. Folly. We saw before that word folly, Israel has wrought folly in the eyes of the Lord. That's not a pretty term then. Folly. He said here, great folly. And the rich sit in a low place. You know that's wrong. Folks, if I'm looking to get ahead, I want somebody that's ahead in front of me. We need somebody that know how to help make a dollar. Folks don't like him, but man, that man know how to make a dollar.
Yeah, come on.
You know how to generate some funds and jobs. He's doing it. They don't like that. We rather get these, well, I'm not trying to be political here, but what we're pulling up with and what we're willing to replace the rich with are people who have the same welfare mentality as many people have already. So when I got you used to gimme, I give you, now you get used to me controlling you. I tell you what to eat, what to sleep, where to buy, where to go to the doctor at. I control you. It's called socialism. We're heading there, folks. Folly is setting great dignity. Folly. Now we got proud homosexuals in our governmental system, religious system, in every system we can have. That's folly. The Episcopal Church set up a gay bishop. That's folly.
Jesus.
Oh God, help me. This is wrong. Now to the world it's okay because we're united. We want everybody to be accepted. We don't even want to offend the people that offend God. So we'll just kick God out. That's what's happening, y'all. It's folly.
Yes.
Come on.
You don't find people preaching this. You don't find people looking at a verse like this. The rich is in a low place. What are you doing down low? You need to be up top, making moves, helping us get in a position. We tend to think because they're up there and they're rich, they just take care of themselves. But really, they're setting the stage so that you can get up there too. Problem is, we don't want to work to get there. We want you to give it to us. If I can't scratch it off on a lottery ticket or pick it in a number or get it in a line called government handout. Oh, Lord, what did I just say? I just didn't beat the church right. We like handouts from the government. Keep them coming.
Come on, bro.
I'm just preaching. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes.
Come on.
Folly. He said, I've seen servants upon horses. I left that verse for last. Servants are on the horses and the princes are walking. Tell me that's not a changing of the garment. Where did we go wrong? You got the servants on the horse. That sounds good, don't it? But is that the way it should go? Huh? Come on, if it's like me getting your car, but you walk inside it while I'm driving, would you do that? Huh? Are you willing to do that? Give me your nice, clean, beautiful car. I'll sit in it with the air going, and yet you walk. Would you do that? You wouldn't let nobody do you like that, would you? That's not right. What a reversal. The servants are running the princes. They're walking and you up on the horse. There's a changing of the guard there for you, huh? Well, let me get out of this and show you what we got here now. We'll go eat. Somebody say lost respect. It's when we lose respect that we don't care. I'm standing on the bus and that old lady is standing up holding all the bags and I'm sitting in a chair. Ain't nothing in me want to get up and give her my seat because I don't have respect. Nothing in me want to open the door for her. She can open her own door. Her arms look like they work. Look at somebody tell them it's called respect. There's nothing wrong with treating her with dignity because she's not mine. Hey, hello. You know, treat her with dignity. She ain't mine. I ain't put a ring on her finger, so I shouldn't violate nothing. Amen. Come on, it's called Come on, it's called respect. I can take her out on a date because I bought her a burger. That means I can feel on her. No, it's called. Come on, y'all. Can I preach? Because I bought her a Happy Meal and I feel like I ought to be happy. No, it's called Come on, let me preach it here. I feel for the man that to come trying to date my daughter, and I'm going to tell him where he can go and what he can and cannot do. And if he toot the horn, it ain't worth the ride. Somebody say amen. It's called what? Respect. I want to respect her womb. Mike, you got to play that softly. Real quiet. This thing got real crazy. It's respect we've lost in America. People don't have respect. Amen. And see, when the rod of correction was legal, they had respect. Some of us right now, we can't stop saying yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, and opening the door. You need somebody to hold the door open for you, and you holding the door open for somebody. Why? You've been taught respect. Thank you. We've lost it in America. We didn't get the person we wanted to vote for, so we ain't going to respect him. He ain't my president. You a liar. He is your respect.
Yes.
We've lost it.
Yes.
We don't like him. He ain't my kind of preacher. It's called respect. See, they didn't like Jesus. Jesus showed up with everything against what they were doing. And because he didn't come through their school and he didn't come through their credibility, he went around them because they didn't like nothing about him. And when they saw him in his work, when they should have respected him, what did they say? Is not this the carpenter's son? I'm not the carpenter's son. This is the baby Mary was talking about. Blessing of God. This is the Holy Ghost. The Lord has become flesh and become walking in tabernacle with men. It's called respect. It's not just the carpenter's son. No. John saw him and respected him and said, behold the Lamb which taketh the sins of the world.
Thank you, Jesus.
Look at somebody, tell him it's called respect. It's respect. We don't respect nothing and nobody no more. One thing I love about my wife, she respects me. Don't agree with me, but she respects me. I respect her. Don't always agree with her, but I respect her. Somebody say amen. Amen. My kids, we have a lot of fun and we play, but we gonna respect when they never see me abuse her. I don't punch her. She don't punch me. We play a lot and we have good fun, but we respect one another. If she respect me and I respect her, I come to this church, I don't look for you to bow to me. I stop somebody from that. You don't bow to me. We all bow to Jesus, but you owe me some respect. Now that you do owe. And if like Jesus, they didn't want to respect him, so what he did, he went away. He went to Capernaum. Lost respect for God and the things of God is what brings to the place where we've lost respect for one another. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. We lost that. And when we lost that, something critical took place. David, we saw last week that David brought God back in the picture. People had a different opinion about it. It wasn't favorable neither. You would think they'd be glad to have God back, and so glad that the person that brought him back has brought him back. A message like this, they don't want to hear that. What are you talking about? Respect God. When you respect God, now you got to change your laws.
Yes.
When you respect God, now you got to change your personal life. You don't disrespect one another. You don't take a girl that's not yours and violate her. You have no rights to her body. I don't care what you brought. That's why daddies, you ought to buy your daughter a good dinner.
Yes.
Oh God, I said
Praise
something. Buy her some flowers. Because I'm telling you, all the money he got is what he just pulled out of his pocket. A real man ain't got no wob in his pocket.
Yes.
He got an IRA account.
Thank you, Jesus.
He got a computer with a whole list of accounts with money in it. He ain't got no wob in it. When that boy pulled that out, honey, he ain't got no money. That's all he got.
Yes. That's
Depending
it.
on what kind of job he might got, well, we call it a job. It ain't even his money. Don't be impressed because you see something. Make him respect you.
That's right.
Oh, God. And if he can't respect you, he ain't worth it. Because you're China, you're not Tupperware.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Yeah. Woo!
Come on, say it. It's called
Respect.
David. He respected God enough to know that if he's not here, we need to get him back.
Yeah.
So what do? We got to do what's necessary to get him back.
Amen.
He's surrounded by people who don't even understand, but David had 30-something thousand people in agreement with him. We're surrounded by a majority who care less for the things of God. In Isaiah 1 and 2, look at all around Isaiah. He said, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me."
Yeah, come on.
Some of you don't reverence and respect God like you should. And He the one that have nourished and brought you up.
Yeah.
You're not dead because God has brought you. That's worship right there.
Yeah.
You're still around because God has brought you.
Yeah.
He's nourished you. Look at us. Some of us He's nourished quite good too.
Yeah.
We're not wanting for anything.
Amen.
He's nourished and brought us up.
Yeah.
The only reason why you're still here is because of God. What do you give Him in return? You rebel against Him? Hosea, who was a contemporary with Isaiah, said, "Look, come, let's return. Let's return to the Lord.
Come on now.
For He hath torn." God is tearing the fiber of this nation apart. He's tearing all of the system that we use to hold us together. He's tearing it apart systematically. And folks, the times is coming that when things get torn enough in people, when things get split enough, they're going to turn back to God. And the church needs to be ready, y'all. We don't need to be judgmental. They might come in, by the time they get here, they might have a disease they can't get rid of, but they still need love. They might have a leg gone. They might have an eye gone. Their life might be shattered. She might look like she's been through what she's been through, but we need to love her right on into the kingdom of God. We need to give them some of God's love and let them know that many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord brings them out of all, and God's purpose has preserved you.
Come on. Thank you, Lord God.
Let us return to the Lord.
Yeah.
He'll heal us.
Yes, you will.
Anybody need healing in here today?
Thank you, Lord God.
He'll bind us.
Thank you, Lord God.
This is how you fix it.
Yeah.
You want to know how to fix it? It starts with respect.
Thank you, Lord.
Respect. A son honors his father. My boys, I took Mark with me the other day. He made some money. He wanted to give me his money. I didn't want to take it. He wanted me to have it. I said, "No, man, you work for it." Trust me, the person he earned that from, he earned more than that. I didn't want to take it. He said, "Here, you can have it. Get something you want." And I thought, wow, that's nice. That's the first time he been like that. And I had to stop him one time, man. I guess he thought his tithes was everything he had. He used to get his money and put it all right there at church. I mean, just dump it all, glad to get it. It's respect. Respect. When we don't have respect, we don't care what we do and who we do it to. Because we don't respect. When we've lost respect, you don't honor your father. You might be here and you say, "I wish I knew who mine was." You might say, "I wish I had a father to honor that was there for me, took me fishing, took me footballing, doing stuff with me, being a father for me." Let me tell you something. The Lord said, when your mother and father forsake you,
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
make up the difference. And isn't it like God
Yes, Lord.
to circle us around somebody?
Thank you, Lord God.
A son honors his father. A servant honors his master.
Yes.
And look at this very probing verse. He said, "If I be a father, then where's my honor?" Now you got to believe he deserves it.
Yes.
He said, "If I be one, where is my honor? If I be a master, where's my fear?
Yes.
Where's the reverence that's due me?" Oh, priest, where is it? Somebody say it's respect.
Yes.
And you need to demand respect.
Yeah.
Command respect.
Yes.
And give respect.
Mm.
Start with God.
Yeah.
Respect God enough to do what he says.
Yes.
Bring your body under subjection
Mm.
till God give you a wife.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't married, you ain't supposed to be
Yeah.
touching nobody's daughter. I don't care how old she is. It's called respect. And if you took the horn, it ain't worth the ride. Because the way of the sin is hard. That's why we got AIDS and all this other stuff. You don't have that in marriage.
Yeah, come on.
Married people enjoy all the sex they want. They don't have no problem. It's when you don't want to do things God's way, you come up with AIDS, syphilis, and herpes. I'm glad it sounds graphic and sad. You need to. Because if you're going to disrespect God and dishonor your body, you're going to get shame and dishonor. The Bible said a man will be brought to a piece of bread for a 5-second thing.
Wow.
It's called respect. If I be a father, where's my honor? The writer said, give unto the Lord glory and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory that's due his name. It's what he deserved, folks. Your life belongs to him. You're supposed to give him glory. Glorify God in your life, even at school. Don't dismiss him when you leave here. Do you hear me, Mariah, Kalani, all of you that are in school? You don't dismiss God when you get off the computer. You don't dismiss God when you leave here. You to glorify him. That means no evil communication ought to come out of your mouth. You ought to not be cussing. You ought to not be doing anything profane that is against the witness of who we are as people of God. Now you see why the devil fought this.
Yeah.
It's called respect. Stand to your feet. It's called respect. Give unto the Lord the glory due his name. Bring an offering. Your life is an offering. An offering. In the early passages of Isaiah, the Lord said, I'm already full of this churchy stuff y'all do. I got all these burnt offerings. I'm full of that, but you're still filthy. You won't get the sin issue right. He said, come, let's reason together. Don't bring no more. Read Isaiah 1. I'll show it to you next week, because we're going to run in this for a little bit. But he said, don't bring no more of that. I don't want no more. I want you jumping. I don't want you clapping. I want you speaking whatever. I want you to learn how to speak to one another first. Learn how to respect me. And when you respect me, you're going to respect one another. Let's pray. Father, what a word. What a challenging word. It is the goodness of God that leads us to repentance, to the place where we will humble our hearts and admit. And now, Lord, as we stand here as a congregation together in response to your word, Father, there's some here would have to say, I've lost respect. Maybe I was anticipating that God would move and correct some things that have not been corrected. But Lord, I ask, Lord, that you would move in their heart, move in their life, touch, heal, and deliver. Bless your people as only you can. Maybe you're here and you would say, I've lost respect. Things have happened so that I don't have respect, and it's tough. I've been abandoned. I've been hurt. I've not been done right. And it's hard for me to respect right now people who the Bible says I should respect. I want to pray for you. God is faithful. The Bible says if we are willing to confess our sin, he's faithful and he's just. And we're going to stand in agreement that God would give us the grace, unmerited favor, to preserve and persevere through these tough times. Father, as we call upon you, make up the difference. Help us to see it and correct it so that we don't go any further. Father, I pray that as a result of all that is said and done, we will be a people closer to you, giving you the glory and honor and respect that is due your great name. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you.